Dear my sweet molasses, what is happening with my hair this morning? Okay.
So welcome back to Michael Clarida Arts. I am, of course, Michael Clarida. Today we're going to be having some fun. I love having fun on my channel. And you guys know that I love doing reviews. I mentioned quite a few videos ago that I would be doing reviews, a few reviews of products. And today is one of those days. XPPen reached out to me and said, "Hey, what's up? What's up, yo? Do you want to do a review?" And I said, "Yes. Send me what you got, your latest and greatest." And that's exactly what they did. So their latest and greatest, of course, is the Artist 10-inch second generation. And for those of you who are on my channel quite a bit, know that I've already reviewed quite a few of the XPPen tablets. One of my main, where's it at? One of my main, right there. That's actually my main work machine now. It replaced a Wacom tablet that I had, an HD 22-inch Wacom tablet, and the one that I have right there is the XPPen 24-inch Pro 2K model, and I love it. Haven't had too many issues with it, and I've had it for over a year, and it's still going strong, so that's awesome. Go XPPen. But whenever it came to review of the last Artist series, Artist being, I'm sure that it doesn't have a 4K screen, but it does have an HD screen, and Artist being it really caters to that particular genre of individual, your artist. And the 16-inch, which is a stretch, is right here. Okay, actually, did I say 16-inch? I meant 12-inch. Huh. Now I did review their 16 Pro, which was phenomenal. I loved it. Loved the form factor. I loved the pen tech. It was wonderful. And I got this one, which is their Artist green. Green's my favorite color. And the 12-inch was it was good. I mean, it wasn't blow my socks off. It didn't blow my socks off. And, I've actually used the 12-inch on a couple trips, and it did okay. It was great. Paired it with my PC. Did fantastic. I did have kind of a challenge whenever I first got the 12-inch. I'm sorry. Yeah, the 12-inch. And I had some challenges hooking it up. And, of course, XPPen being who they are, they solved all those issues, and we were able to get a decent review out of it. But the 10-inch is basically the exact same tablet, but in a different form factor. And that happens to be smaller. Now, I chose a different color this time, and, the green was great. They're kind of pastel-y colors. Is that even a word? Pastel? It's pastel-y. And, right now in their Artist series, there's 3 sizes available. You have the 10, you have the 12, and you have the 16. All 3 of these have the ability to pair with a host machine, whether it be a PC or Mac. All 3 of these have the ability to pair with a phone. So if you have Samsung phone running the latest and greatest version of the operating system, then you should be able to pair with it no problem and have a drawing companion tablet to bring with you on your artistic adventures. And, 4 trendy colors to choose from. And, of course, the all-important, and this is the most important thing about this tablet, and I said this in my 12-inch review, and also in the 16 Pro, the X3 pen chip technology is the, how do I put it? It is the golden goose. You definitely want the golden goose whenever it comes to pen tech. And this is it. It is fantastic. How does it compare with some of the other ones? Now, this particular pen is battery free. It's got 10 times increase in sensitivity from that right there. And I tell you, you can notice it. Almost zero latency. And in terms of parallax, since they've developed these machines with bonding, you can barely see any parallax whenever it comes to drawing. There's only 3 grams of activation force whenever you go to put the pen down on the screen. 0.6 millimeter retraction. So that's less than a millimeter of retraction distance, and that's half of their previous styluses. Again, I referenced this machine over here, this screen. So the new stylus, it optimizes the inner structure. So they've they've put a ton of tech inside the pen without increasing the size, and that's really important. And then it eliminates the consumable spring components of the previous designs, which in actuality eventually would wear out because there was a spring inside, and it doubles the lifespan of the stylus. This is very important for somebody like me. I'm a huge investment versus return. You know, I invest $1,000 or I invest $200 or $300. I typically want to get at least $300 worth of time and use out of it. How many times have we bought a product and you put your dollars down and you expect it to last for a specific amount of time, and then suddenly you realize it doesn't? And that kind of is a thorn in your side in terms of product company relationship, you know. Another thing XPPen does is that lifetime technical support. Something happens with your pen, something happens with your tablet, something happens, they're going to try their best to figure it out. If it is inside the warranty, they'll address it. If it's not, then they'll show you a path for success, whatever it is, right? And that's important. I can definitely tell you that they will work tirelessly to solve your technical issues, whether it's hardware, software, or user wear. That's me, a user. I'm a user. Yeah. Yeah, I cause a lot of my own problems. Yeah, let me do this. Yeah, I'm going to put a ham sandwich on my computer and let's see what happens. Not really. I don't put ham sandwiches. I don't eat ham. It's gross. Turkey's my jam. So what I'm trying to say is today's video is going to be a review of the 10-inch XPPen Artist Series tablet. And, you know, I'm going to go on the website here really quick if I can. Hopefully it won't make my computer explode. So I'm looking, and in terms of specifications, of course, these are things that are important, you know, for us as users. First of all, it doesn't come with a stand. Oh my gosh. It doesn't come with a stand, but you can purchase a stand. They're pretty inexpensive, you know, 18, 20 bucks if you're going to have it on your desk. Now, this being a smaller tablet, I'm not going to use it like that. I would use it as a, you know, a companion to a phone, or, you know, if I went out maybe on a train or a plane or an automobile. That's not a good joke. Yes, so you basically use this as a traveling companion if you want to draw out in the wild. You know, I might take this if I go on a hike and I want to draw a waterfall, right? I don't want to carry around a whole 16-inch tablet and I got it in the back of my backpack and I pull it out and I'm starting doing stuff. This is a great traveling companion for you guys. So let's see, getting started, learn more. So I'm basically on their website, xpppen.com. I'm reading you some of the indicators. So basically it comes, let me see, specifications. I'm trying to find out. I might have to go to the box. Okay. Drivers, getting started, product gallery, very nice. It's Windows, Mac, and Android compatible, supports digital with Photoshop, Illustrator, Krita, Medibang, Blender, GIMP, and some of those other software companies. Full-featured USB-C cable connection. It's got a connection, but this particular machine doesn't include a USB-C by itself. So just, you know, keep that in your brain. Whenever you purchase it, you're going to have a full-featured USB-C cable for it to plug into your phone. It does come with a 3-in-1 USB-C cable with a 3-in-1 USB-C port. So it's basically it has an HDMI cable, so it is a full-featured cable. Now, I complained about that whenever I had the review of the 12-inch, and the cables that are involved was a little bit much for my brain to handle. And that has nothing to do with the product itself. It has to do with me. I don't like cables. First of all, I don't like cables. I don't like hoses. I don't like extension cords. And for the love of God, I don't like wire hangers. Wire hangers. If anybody you saw that movie, then you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so I'm looking here and it says multifunction screen conveys multiple application uses. So you could basically plug this into, let me see, you could plug it in as a TV for maybe a tablet, or if you have your, you know, Nintendo Wii and you want to plug into that. So it does a lot of things. It's got quick keys, which are fantastic. They're pre-programmable. 8,192 levels of pressure sensitivity, 60 degrees of tilt, 5,080 LPI, which is 1080 by 720. Basically, it's got HD screen, 10:1, and easy portability for unlimited creativity and release. And it comes black, blue, and pink. All right, my head's going to explode now. All right, enough of this. Let's get to the unboxing. That's a time lapse. We're going to talk through that, and then we're getting on to the actual demo of the drawing tablet. Hopefully you guys will enjoy. Stay tuned. Anti-glare. It's got an anti-glare coating, so you don't have to put that paper-like thing on there. Comes with it. Full laminated screen technology. They're seamlessly laminated to avoid parallax, which is also fantastic. And comfortable touch experience. So the edges are kind of rubberized, which is really nice. So it has that high degree of form factor. So let's get started. Yay, unboxing. Wee. Look at me, I'm unboxing. Yay. I make fun, but it is an enjoyable process. Of course, there are numerous channels on YouTube that show the unboxing process of different products. So the box is nice. It's got great weight to it, good printing, very clear, shows the print of the device on the back and on the front, very clear on what you're getting. And I'm going to go through. There's the protective little cushion for the screen itself, and I remove the device and start looking through some of the support documents, from the warranty card to the pen nibs, the pen nib remover. They give you a small cloth to clean the screen from all of your ickies that come from your hand. Of course, the warranty information quick guide. I recommend you read these. These are important documents, and that's why I put them to the side. And then it does have the all-important code that you redeem your free software that you download from XPPen.com. There's the pen. I show how to remove the nib, and it's a good weighted pen. Nice. Everything's good. It's great. It's a great unboxing experience. Nothing to write home about. We get to the actual device, and it's fantastic. And I say fantastic because it's got a great weight to it. It's easy to open. The packaging doesn't inhibit me from an opening quickly. And just a great experience overall. It's got a protective film on the front to protect the screen itself. And if you look on the back, the device has the little rubber stoppies, which I love. And it's about the size of your hand. So let's get on to using the device. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the setup really quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and start doing what I love to do on this channel, which is draw. So a lot of the other channels will sit down, they'll do a line test, they'll show you just the basics of what the tablet is capable of, and they'll kind of leave it up to you to evaluate, of course, after you purchase the product. So what I want to do is basically show you the setup, show you go through its paces and use it in the programs that are probably the most popular that you're going to use, such as Photoshop, maybe Krita, maybe a ZBrush, or some of those other programs that maybe some of you professionals or even you budding professionals will use. So today I have the tablet hooked up to a PC. Some of you will use Macintosh as well, and this particular tablet also pairs with a phone, I believe a Samsung phone, via the USB-C plug. It has to be a full-featured plug, so just remember that whenever you go ahead and try and pair it with the phone. What else to say about the tablet? It's small. I'm not really, I'm not gonna say anything negative about it. The form factor is very similar to the other tablet that I reviewed recently, which was the 16-inch tablet. No, it was the 12-inch tablet. So I've reviewed the 16, I've reviewed the 16 Pro, I've reviewed the 12-inch, and now we're going to review the 10. So the 10's about roughly the size of my hand, a little bit bigger. Just think, roughly the size of a piece of paper, kind of cut in half. So hopefully that gives you some perspective. So let's go ahead and get started. And here's the setup, some of that B-roll footage. Yeah, Surface Laptop Studio, I have my quick key remote on the left, and it's plugged into a Anker USB-C peripheral there. getting a little bit closer, you can see the matte surface cover that is on the screen, and that's very important because I don't like glare. Okay, and here's the setup. So you can see in terms of sizing, right, it's not a terribly large size. I mean, this isn't typical sizing of what I would deem suitable for a studio setup, just because, you know, I draw really big, and you know, I need maximum surface area whenever I draw because I have a really large drawing stroke. But in a pinch, or as a travel companion, or if you're just getting started into the genre of digital art, I think this is a perfectly suited size. So we're going to go ahead and do, I don't know, let's do maybe 10. So we'll do 10 by 8 and create. Okay. We're gonna do faces today. A lot of you guys know that I just love drawing faces in general. Let's make sure that that image size of 300 dpi. Let's change that. I want to do a little bit wider. Cancel FF. Okay. File, image, image size. We're gonna go 10. Cancel. Okay, so we're just going to keep it the way it is because I just don't want to mess around with it right now. Okay, so you guys can see that I'm utilizing a lot of people ask me about this device. This is the XPPen quick key remote. You can program it how you want to. Of course, the artist series tablets, they have quick keys on the left hand side, so you can pre-program those, which is fine if you just want to do, you know, those quick keys. And you know, they're not limiting at all, but I like to I tend to use this because, you know, I have basically 9 quick keys with a scroll wheel, and it tends to suit my workflow a little bit better, and that's why I utilize it. This is about 35 bucks on Amazon or on the XPPen website. Okay, so basically what I'm doing right now is trying to get used to this form factor. This is a little bit smaller, like I said, that I'm used to, but it still has the capability to create really great art. So the way that I have it set up is, it's not necessarily a 45, it's maybe a little bit more than a 45 degree, probably a 50 to 60 degree angle. And I've got the surface in front as a secondary monitor, so that works out really good. Okay, so drawing faces, and I've got the glove on. Now this is not a touch screen, so I don't really have to worry about that, but I like utilizing the glove because it helps me flow a little bit better on the surface area. You know, I've talked about customer service, I've talked about product, I've talked about you know, some of the other things that XPPen really has going for it, but the technology that they're utilizing nowadays. You know, Wacom has their EMR technology, which I'm sure this is very similar because it's batteryless. That's what the stylus is. But that X3 chip that they have inside of the pen, that initial activation when I come down is absolutely fantastic. And if you look, so I'll go ahead and scroll in, I'm moving, if you can see this, I'm moving the cursor on the screen, and there's pretty much no lag at all. Now that's going to obviously depend on your computer, it depends on the brush, it depends on how large the brush is. There's a lot of variables there. So a lot of times people will say, oh, the tablet doesn't suit my needs because it has certain behaviors. Well, a lot of times those behaviors really have nothing to do with the tablet. It has to do with what the tablet is connected to. Now, my computer is a Surface Laptop Studio. It's got the i5 with 16 gigs of RAM, and it's got a integrated video card. And I know that some of the older machines, I do have a Surface Book that is a little bit older, and whenever I connected the 12-inch device that's very similar to this one, actually if I can pull it really quick for you guys, this device right here, which as you see it's it's very similar in form factor. So whenever I connected this to the Surface Book, there was a little bit of lag, but that didn't have anything to do with the tablet. It had a lot to do with the fact that that particular computer is older, even though it did have an i7 processor and a pretty decent robust video card. It's just nowadays, with Photoshop being so RAM hungry, it's very difficult to find a machine that really covers that gamut of performance as an illustrator or artist, and your machine that is paired to a tablet that has capability, but your machine is what is lacking. So just remember, don't get too frustrated in the midst. Let's go ahead and make this image, let's do canvas size a little bit bigger because I feel like I'm running out of room. Image canvas size. And that gave me just a little bit more room to draw. Anyway, so yeah, so what do I think? Overall, impressions are very similar, like I said, to the 12-inch that I reviewed. That form factor of that previous device, I thought, was, in terms of travel companion, was pretty much perfect. This one, of course, is a little bit smaller, and they're trying to push that envelope. XPPen is pushing that envelope to really cater to those people that, you know, maybe they're on a train, maybe they're again first starting, and they don't want to pay a ton of money for a device. And this one really kind of goes and it merges right into that niche area. Niche being, you know, a specialized area of people. Now me, whenever I go and I look for a tablet, of course I want really good tech. I want it to be inexpensive. These are all my things that whenever I go and search for a tablet or a computer, I want it to have great form factor, I want it to have good design, a decent warranty, I want it to be super fast, I want it to have a great screen and tons of RAM. And these are, and battery life to me doesn't really matter that much, because I typically will not use the computer in its battery capacity. I'm always going to be just plugging it in and you know, plugging it in and using it in that way. You know, I pretty much have access to a plug. Now, if there's ever that moment when, yeah, I need to plug it in, that I do want it to have decent battery life and not run out in 10 minutes. I had a computer that was pretty new, and the fact that it had a 4K screen and, you know, that i7 processor, you know, even though it had a decent battery, it would still fly through it in about 2 hours. And I'm talking about that HP product that, you know, I'm constantly referencing, because it was a really great machine, but at the end of the day, I did end up not using as much as I wanted to and ended up getting rid of it. Now that is, on my part, kind of hindsight. I probably should have kept that machine and played with it a little bit more. But, you know, I was using my Surface devices so much, and I really enjoyed drawing on the Surface devices, that at the end of the day, it just didn't make sense for me to have that $3,000, $4,000 computer and I'm not using it. So I am, of course, talking about the HP ZBook X2 G4 that was really specialized for illustrators and creatives overall. Really specialized. I think retail on that thing was like $4,500. I ended up paying like $1,600, and it was a refurb. And then I ended up selling it for $1,300, which is great, because I felt like I didn't lose too much money. I used it for about 1.5 years, 2 years. Okay. As you see, I'm just going in and having some fun. You know, doing maybe this, I would consider this kind of like a warm-up. And I would typically do these types of warm-ups traditionally, but just because, you know, I've got to review this particular product. This particular product, by the way, was provided by XPPen. I did not pay for this. You know, but the caveat to that is always they want an honest opinion. And you know what's really cool, and I've said this, I think I've said this in a couple of reviews. Whenever you have a company that really wants user input, it's very important that you're honest. You know, even though this tablet was provided, they specifically said they want an honest opinion. And if there's an issue, contact them first, and they'll try to resolve it to get the best user experience. And a lot of companies, you know, you buy and then they have a separate support company that really, if you have an issue, then that support company will come along and they'll try to resolve it and alleviate any of those issues. Well, XPPen does a lot of things in-house, and if they can't figure things out quickly, they'll refer you to the engineers, and the engineers are the people that actually created and designed the tablets, and they'll try to alleviate. I had, you know, some issues connecting the other one to my PC, and they ended up showing me a way to connect it, because it was an older PC and it ended up working out really good. But you know, they were sending me pictures, and then they were modifying cables and showing me how to do things. And you know, we went back and forth for probably about 3 days, and finally, you know, it came down to me being having a user error, and it had nothing to do with the tablet. But they were like, yeah, no problem, just make sure that, you know, if you have any more issues, you know, you contact us. And you know, they said lifetime technical support. That is really hard to come by in today's day and age with products. I know some of the other companies, I don't know about Huion or some of those other companies, but Wacom, you know, I had an issue with Wacom. And I'm not going to sit here and bash Wacom, because they're you know, a great company in their own right. But the reality is, one of their machines that I had purchased, the Cintiq Companion back in the day, and of course Cintiq Companion had a lot of issues. But man, I went through their customer service department, and eventually it was like, well, you know, you can always just buy one of our refurbed units and just have a nice day. And it was frustrating because you could see it was a design flaw. And they admitted that the majority of the companions ended up failing because of the design flaw. And that was a really crummy thing for them to say. And then they didn't want to support me after the purchase. You know, I had purchased that companion from their website, and you know, I had it for roughly a year and a half, 2 years, and eventually the power port fell out. So instead of just throwing it away, I ended up taking the machine apart and soldering a power cable directly to the motherboard, which is probably not recommended. It's not very safe to do that, but I ended up making it work, and eventually I ended up giving the machine to a buddy of mine. But I'm sure if I have any issues at all, you know, XPPen will step in and do their very best to help alleviate those issues. If you've had any issues with XPPen, please, you know, I know sometimes some of their early products, because they were a younger company, they actually just celebrated their 17 years being a company, which is fantastic. Congratulations. You know, if you've had any issues, I'm sure that, you know, they resolve them. And that's, like I said, a really great thing in the marketplace. So what am I doing right now? Just having fun. So that's, you know, that's one of the one of the characters that I'm doing. I'm going to move on to the next one. So we're going to go ahead and hide this. Here's my layer palette. Boom. Create a new layer, and we're ready to go again. So I'm going to go ahead and file, save. See, again, what's great, I don't have to go up to these little tabs up here, submenu. So I have it pre-programmed. I press that, and look, you know, it says, what do you want to do? Save to Creative Cloud? No, I want to save to my computer. Don't show it again. Save on my computer. And we're just going to say, okay, desktop. Here, we're going to do this. Okay. Okay, face. Face review, desktop. Okay. And save. I'll show again. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next one. I don't typically draw women or females, but we're going to go ahead and do that anyway. So let's go ahead, do a front view. A little bit too big. So a lot of people ask me, you know, in terms of drawing and workflow and devices and digital art, you know, I recommend, first of all, don't exceed your budget. Like this particular tablet, I believe the price point, I think I showed that. So let's go. Okay. Okay, so let's go XPPen. Yeah, I think I showed this whenever I was unboxing it. Products. Yeah, see the products. Artist series. Here we go. Boom. So let's hit buy now. We go here, and right now it's 152 bucks, down from 169, and they're constantly running sales on these products. So 152 bucks, you can get a digital art, and you can start drawing with 8,000 levels of pressure sensitivity and HD screen, and basically, you know, starting your artistic endeavors. If you've never done digital art before, it is a wonderful, forgiving place where you can learn so much about drawing without really getting in there and going through a ton of assets. And that means, you know, going through a ton of paper, pencils, and whenever you work in the digital arena, you can make a mark. Oh my gosh, I made a mark. You know, in the real world, that would be very hard to take care of. But in the digital world, you just Control Z and now it's gone. And that allows you as a user to really experiment and have fun. And, you know, that's important. It's important that you get in there and realize that, you know, drawing can be fun. It can be something that you enjoy. And, you know, with experimentation, I can put that one. With experimentation is one of those things where I think that it's not, you put too much pressure on yourself, especially whenever it comes to drawing. I need to get it perfect. I need that line perfect. I need, you know, all these things that I put on myself, and at the end of the day, it doesn't need to be that, right? You can have some fun, and you can really, you know, just like Bob Ross says, you know, how to create some happy trees and yeah, just have fun. There's too much garbage going on out there in the world for us not to have some fun. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm doing a front view of a face, and I'm doing the map. That means I'm mapping out what I'm trying to accomplish. So right now, I need to go ahead and do some measurements. So typically that center part right here, that center line of the eye, is right in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and measure. Go ahead and zoom out a little bit. So we're about right. So now I'll just, you know, the hair I'm going to draw as one big shape first, just to okay. You know, I can get into the details and the logistics of creating, you know, strands of hair after I get the basic shape in. I don't want to go in and start doing details. I want to go really broad first before I go in and start creating details. And as you see, I'm constantly using my device here because, you know, I'm so used to having a tablet in front of me and having my keyboard on the left. All those quick keyboards, you know, the muscle memory, I've basically created that environment in this small device. You know, this device uses a dongle and it plugs into a USB port on the side of the device. and it's, you know, wireless. And what's really cool too is and I've showed this before, the driver user interface. You can go in and you can preset pin settings, and what's great is this particular driver recognizes when that device shows up in it. You can go in and add and subtract different programs, and you pre-program the quick keys according to which program that you have allotted in the UI. Alright, so let's go ahead and come down. Alright. So again, what I'm running into right now is I'm so used to drawing in a big area that I'm not having issue per se. I'm just having to modify my brush stroke somewhat because of the smaller surface area. Now if I was on a train or if I was on a plane or somewhere like that, then this would be a great situation because I wouldn't have that huge tablet taking up all that area. So let's go ahead and this whole muscle group right here, the mouth, I want to make sure and have the proper form factor. Alright, needs to be in the center. Alright, I'm going to do the eyes, so this lip, chin is a little bit more pointed. It's going to come down right to there. Because that jaw is extended. I need to make sure and have got the cheekbones right here. As you see, literally I'm putting in all those areas because that underlying skeleton doesn't change, but whenever you have the jaw move down, it extends everything up here, and then you have that nose area and the lips come up, so you're going to have a pinching of this area right above the lip. Yeah. Here, you've got that straight line that comes down, and it's kind of squared off at the bottom here, and that jaw is squared off at the bottom. I want that to be a kind of a square area, and even that's a little bit too small, so let's go ahead and make it down a little bit further. Bottom teeth are going to be barely visible, so let's go ahead and have that down. And again, this is my drawing, so I can pretty much do whatever I want to. If I want to give her horns, I can give her horns. If I want to give her a scaly face, I can do that. It's literally, and you can do the same with yours. You know, these characters that we create in terms of experimentation, this is like my digital sketchbook. So let's go ahead and have this come down. Here's the teeth. Alright, so let's do the eyes. So a little pro tip here. So you have the corners of the nose typically coincide with the inside of the eye. So if any of you ever get confused of the distance between the eyes, it's typically, first of all, it's the width of an eye. So if it's this distance, you can measure this distance over, and that's the other corner of the eye right there. So you do the same thing over here. So now I have the width of the eye, and I base that upon the width of the nose. Okay. Let's do these brow furrows right here. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll have my roadmap and I'll go and I'll work on some other areas because I'm not ready to accomplish or take on this area. So I'll go to another area and I'll start working, and then what'll happen is I'll come back and my mind's eye has had time to reevaluate. And that's that old adage, if you can't figure something out, get up, take a walk, go figure, go get a cup of coffee, go do something else that gets your mind away, because if you're too close to it, a lot of times that skews your brain and you kind of work inside of that proverbial visual bubble, and you don't want that. You want to have a little bit of variety. So what I'm doing now, I'll go ahead and color this in. Maybe I'll give her some fangs. Yeah, give her some fangs. So let's go ahead and give her a couple fangs here. Here we go, here's the other one. And it's going to reach down. And of course, this being a sketch, I have that ability to change things at will. And whenever I come back and I do a tighter sketch, let's go ahead and give her a couple fangs down here, sharper teeth. I can come back and get a darker line. And how we basically do that is we'll come back and we'll have our layers and we'll adjust the opacity down and we'll come back over it and we'll do some finishing work. So let's go ahead and do our eyeballs. Let's come down. I want this down. I want it probably about the level right there. Right there. Okay. Now there is a tool inside Photoshop that might help you. It's called the symmetry tool. And whenever you're drawing, it's up here on the right hand side. It looks like a butterfly, but let's go ahead and use that. We'll put it right in the center of the nose, right about there. We'll go back, and now anything I do on the right hand side will show up on the left hand side, and a lot of times that'll help you really balance things a little bit better, and your eyes won't look all wonky and skewed. Good to come out. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw it in a little bit. And that would give me a basis for how big her nose is. Do this. Let's go ahead and draw in center part of her eye. It does look a little wonky, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off symmetry. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to correct some of the flaws that I've put in there by accident. And I'll go ahead and draw in. Let's draw in that top lash. The pressure sensitivity on the device is really good. Having that 8,000 levels of pressure sensitivity again is a benefit, and that is the industry standard right now, 8,000. They haven't really swayed from that for the past few years, so I don't know if they kind of ran into a wall in terms of pressure sensitivity, or they're like, well, you don't really, as an artist, you're not going to notice any of those. If we increase the pressure, you're not going to, see any discernible difference, if we double it to 16,000 levels. So we'll see. And you're not going to notice those, levels of pressure sensitivity unless the brush is really big. Whenever you're really small, you're not going to notice them. There is going to be a little bit, it's going to be smoother, per se, I would think, and I think my voice just cracked. It's going to be a little bit better. Again, thinking in terms of anatomy and what makes sense, and overall trying to figure out where things go. Eyes come down, center of the eye. And I bet you're asking, what in the heck just happened? My goodness, yeah, so my video recorder just decided to go, I'm not working right now, so my apologies for that. What I'm doing now is going back over the initial sketch and doing some refinement, putting in some wrinkles, some definition, changing the eye construction a little bit to be a little bit more sinister to coincide with the character development. You know, what does that have to do with the device itself? So I decided to go ahead and do a screen recording because, you know, the distance from the screen to the camera was starting to be a little bit of an issue. So I just wanted to show you the drawing and how well this particular device executes the pressure curve. You can see the brush I'm using is a sketch brush. It's, you know, pencil, it's got texture in it. And overall, just the application of the stroke is really fantastic. It's got, you know, the good lead in, it's doesn't have parallax, and that screen being bonded, you don't have that, again, that distance latency that a lot of tablets have. And of course, it really helps that I have a very fast computer, being that Surface device, you know, in Windows. It's just a great experience overall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just put you, you know, put a little music behind me, and you guys can just enjoy the rest. And we'll do a really quick wrap up at the end. Enjoy. And that pretty much completes the review of the XPPen Artist 10 second generation. So do I recommend this particular tablet? I think this is a fantastic option for those of you traveling. You need something that you can plug into a host machine. Maybe, you know, you go traveling to a relative's house or something like that, or even if you have a morning commute, it might be really good to take this along. If you have your phone, you can plug it right into your phone, your Samsung phone, and you can do some sketching along the way. The form factor is such that, you know, you could just put it in your backpack, put it in your day bag, put it in your purse, something that, you know, really can be a resource for you guys whenever you want to draw on the fly. The form factor is fantastic. The fit and finish is really good. The levels of pressure sensitivity, I didn't have any issues with driver installation. The only caveat that I would have that I particularly, and this is a personal preference, the amount of cables that are involved with this machine, especially you know, with a lot of the new machines just having USB-C. You know, they've included that 3-in-1 cable that has the power, that has the USB, that has the HDMI cable in it, and at the end of the day, it is quite bulky, and you need to consider that, especially if you're going to use this as a traveling machine. Now, if you have a full-featured USB-C cable that can handle video as well as power, then you can plug this right into a phone, or you can plug it right into a host machine. That is a really great option, because, you know, those of you who know and watch my channel, you know that I'm not a huge fan of a lot of cables. But that being said, you know, the screen is really good. It's got, in terms of color saturation, let me see, 1920 by 1080, which is full HD. You know, 5080 LPI. It's got 60 degrees of tilt, which again is great. Those of you know that some of the lower budget price pointed tablets out there don't have tilt. This one does. It's compatible with Windows 7, Mac OS, Android, and Chrome. So again, you've got a tablet that is capable, that you know, that you can use in a myriad of different OSs. The stylus is the X3 Elite, so that initial activation, the parallax, all those things are not really an issue, because it's got that intelligent chip inside that helps you whenever you're using the stylus with the tablet. The color gamut is 85% of NTSC and 120% sRGB and 88% Adobe RGB for those of you who are real color conscious, you know, if you need to have color correction. It's got great colors, it's good, you can adjust the brightness, there's quick keys. So this is literally, it clicks all the boxes whenever it comes to tablets in the marketplace. And it being I think the retail price is $169 or $179. They're routinely running sales when you can get this thing for $135 to $150, and that to me is a super bargain. So that being said, again, the Artist 10 second generation, and if you have a color preference, it comes in different colors. So that is pretty much what I wanted to show you guys today. The tablet in action. So we pull it back up. The tablet in action, using it in the preferred programs that are out there. You know, I use Photoshop, I use Mega Studio, or Clip Studio Paint for those of you here in the US. And it's just, you know, the tablet is a tool. I always say on my channel that you're only as good as your effort, work ethic, and ability dictate. The tools are literally can be a obstacle, or they can be a tool that helps you. And this tool helps you. You know, digital artists are always looking for that all-in-one tablet, all-in-one computer that really clicks all the boxes, and it's very hard to find that. You know, I've got many devices that I utilize, from tablets like this one to computers like this one, you know, larger tablets, bigger form factors, and all those things are just tools. You know, it takes you, the artist, to really investigate and invest in yourself and that artistic endeavor to see where you can go with it. So that being said, thanks for watching, and thanks again to XPPen for providing the tablet, and we'll see you guys again soon. Okay, bye.